Hello everyone, back to you in today's first video, doing 5D forecast for today's first video. As always on a Wednesday, we're going to have a detailed look at the weather for the next 5 days. Today's second video will extend out beyond the 5-day forecast period. Have a look at weather next week to 10 days. I'll have all the latest on what's happening in the stratosphere. We'll look at the indexes, the Arctic Oscillation, North Atlantic Oscillation, and we will have a look at the chance of a big freeze coming up before the end of February. So that'll be today's second video. But starting it all off today is going to be 5D forecast. So you're watching a video tab here on the homepage right now. Of course, there's also a written version. Get to that from buttons at the top of the page here at Gavsovids. And websites using full 5D forecast coming from theweatherout.com and weathercentre.de. You can find a link to both those websites on the links page. So we'll begin with the radar picture. This is the latest. We've got outbreaks of quite heavy rain across Scotland. Showery bursts of rain, but still a few heavy bursts mixed in, coming down into sort of northern England, and then going further southwards of that into Wales and also down to the Midlands, central southern England. It becomes rather lighter and more patchier. If you have a look at the precipitation type, you'll see there is some sleet and snow mixed in with this, mainly for Scotland and mainly over high ground, but not exclusively so. A few flakes of snow could come down to low levels, especially across parts of Scotland today. Here's today's Arctic pressure chart. So low pressure is driving the weather out in the Atlantic, been the case throughout much of the winter, but a change is going to start to take place to high pressure during this 5-day forecast period. So by the time we get to the end of it, we'll see high pressure in control. But for today, low pressure is dominating. Got quite tight backed isobars as well, so it's fairly windy with this band of rain. So we're going to see the rain with snow, particularly to high ground, moving across the country through the course of this afternoon, with brighter skies and wintry showers following to the north and west. So that's probably going to get the strongest of the winds out to the northwest of Scotland. We might see the winds going up to gale force today. Temperatures today quite cold again, so ranging from around, say, just 2 degrees in far north of Scotland to 6 or 7 down in the south. And it feels pretty cold and miserable under these grey skies with the outbreaks of rain. Tonight is going to take a long while to clear that weather front away from the east. So we'll have further rain across central and eastern parts of the country this evening, gradually pushing to the east, but could linger through much of the night, actually, across the far southeast of the country. Most places will become dry, though. Winds turn westerly, and they begin to drive in these wintry showers into the northwest. Again, notice tight backed isobars, so it'll be a windy night in the northwest. Winds could go up to gale force across parts of northern and western Scotland, probably also Northern Ireland as well. Temperatures could, even despite the wind and having showers in the north, it could reach frost levels for Scotland and Northern Ireland. So we might go down to -2, -3 degrees of temperature tonight. Certainly, there could be some icy patches. Further south and southeast, I think the temperatures will hold up at around 4 or 5 degrees. So it shouldn't be as cold as the last couple of nights down in the south. Through into Thursday, so low pressure close to Iceland is the main driver of the weather for Thursday, and we're bringing in these westerly winds. Notice we're starting to get a little bit of a bump of high pressure to our far south. So we'll have more showers in the north and the west during the course of Thursday. Some of them will be heavy and they'll be wintry at times as well, might emerge into a longer spell of rain, sleet or snow for north and western parts of Scotland. But for much of England and Wales, actually, I think the showers will be quite light and scattered, and probably won't get too many. Many parts of the country may stay dry in the south on Thursday. Temperature probably close to average, around 3 to 8 degrees, but it'll feel cold in that wind up in the north. We get through to Friday and we're starting to get an increasing influence from this ridge, albeit it's quite weak doing it, but we are beginning to see a bit of a ridge building from the south. So there's a weather front in the far northwest of Scotland, though, which could bring some cloud and showery bursts of rain, possibly with snow in places as well across the far north and west of Scotland. But the bulk of the country will have a mainly dry day on Friday, and there'll be some decent sunny spells coming through as well. Could well be frost early and late, so it will limit the temperature potential, but overall probably not too far from average around 3 to 8 degrees Celsius once again. And on Saturday, we get a little bit more of an influence from high pressure to our south, although a weather front is pushing into the far northwest of Scotland. So for Scotland and Northern Ireland, after dry, probably frosty start, it turns cloudier and damp with some outbreaks of showery rain. But for England and Wales, probably a mostly dry day with sunny spells on Saturday. Temperatures again around 3 to 8 degrees Celsius. Expect frost night and morning. And then high pressure becomes increasingly dominant to our south during the course of Sunday. Not all plain sailing though. We are bringing a warm front into this high pressure from off the Atlantic. Eastern areas will probably start off dry with sunny spells, mainly a frost. Maybe a frost. Central and western parts of the country have a lot of cloud. There'll be showery bursts of rain, and this cloud and showery rain will spread across the country, producing quite a grey day, really, with a lot of cloud, only very limited bright or sunny spells. But temperatures will start to lift up. So although in the east they may still be pegged back at around 7 or 8 degrees, central western areas will start to turn much milder on Sunday afternoon. We could well see a temperature going to around 10 to 12, and maybe even a little touch of spring in the air, perhaps, for some parts of Wales and southwestern England. And then we end the 5-day forecast period on Monday with high pressure well and truly in control. Again, we probably have a lot of cloud trapped underneath this high pressure, but a few bright or sunny spells could break through. I think it's almost universally dry across the whole country as well by Monday, and it will be pleasantly mild with temperatures again ranging from around 8 to 12, possibly even 13 degrees. 13 is 55 Fahrenheit. It'll feel very pleasant if any bright or sunny spells start to break through. As the cloud begins to thin out, though, during the course of Monday evening, we might start to see some dense patches of fog developing, and that could become an increasing problem for the early part of next week. Now, beyond this, where this ridge of high pressure is going, initially it is producing relatively mild and benign conditions, but where this high pressure goes will be very, very critical as we go into the final week of February. This is a high pressure that may be the vessel to produce a big freeze by the time we get through to the final days of February, with a real sting in the tail for this winter possible in the closing days of the month. And we will have much, much more about that in today's second video. So do come back this afternoon for today's second video update. Finally, just have a look at charts weather outlook. So lots of cloud and showery bursts of rain with some snow over high ground around today. Through the course of Thursday, showers in the northwest. They may be wintry, mostly dry in the south and the east. By Friday, we've got a lot of dry weather there across the country, particularly for England and Wales. There could be some rain or snow in the northwest of Scotland. And these dry and fine conditions continue into the weekend. It starts to turn milder as well, albeit Sunday will have a lot of cloud, and there will be some showery bursts of rain as well. By Monday, we're looking at more or less a universally dry and mild day. Again, lots of cloud, but a few bright or sunny spells will start to come through. And if the cloud starts to thin out through the early part of next week, watch out for a growing risk of fog patches. And then where the high pressure goes later on next week will be critical in terms of whether we pull in those bitterly cold and snowy easterly winds. More about that for today's second video. So in summary, we're starting unsettled and quite cold. We're going to gradually settle it down. It'll be a slow old process, but slowly but surely in the next 5 days we'll break out of that unsettled Atlantic driven weather we have through most of the winter. High pressure will build in, and by the start of next week, actually it's mostly dry, and maybe with a touch of spring in the air. Probably a false spring though, and we could well be back to pretty cold, snowy weather by the end of next week. And today's second video will have more on that. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.